and welcome. Bring your hands together, close your eyes, turn your attention inwards, bring your awareness to your breath. Long, slow breath deep into your belly, and make your out breath even longer and slower. And twice more. And today we'll open with 3 ohms. Exhale, inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Open your eyes, release your hands. So today we're on the 3rd chakra, Manipura, the fire chakra. We have moved from the earth chakra, that place of survival, Muladhara, associated with the earth, through to the 2nd chakra, Vadasthana, the water chakra, the place of change. And now to the fire chakra, Manipura. It's there just between our navel and our solar plexus. Its colour is yellow, and the asana mostly associated with Manipura, core work and twists. So we're working on this area of our body. The energetic benefits from working with Manipura is you will develop a deep understanding of yourself, a deep knowing of yourself. You will know how you can be in community and what you can contribute. You begin to understand your life purpose by working on this area, the 3rd chakra. So without any further ado, make your way onto your hands and knees and move into down dog and enjoy your practice. So hands under shoulders, knees wider than hip width apart. Turn your toes under and lift up into down dog. Grip the floor with your fingertips, externally rotate your upper arms, engage your core, lift your tailbone, look at a point between your thumbs. Focus on your breath. Float forward into chaturanga. Shoulders over wrists, up onto the tops of your toes, and hover off the floor. Lift your head, look up. Release gently to the floor. Moving into locust, hands bound. Clasp your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Inhale. Lift your legs off the floor, lift your arms off the floor, move your ears back. And gently release to the floor, bring the side of your face to the floor and rest. Here, moving into supine twist, make your way onto your back. Stretch your legs out, arms by your sides. Stretch your right leg out, bend your left knee. Then lift your left foot off the floor, cross your right leg and bring your inner left knee to the floor. Roll over onto your right hip. Make goalposts of your arms and invite your shoulders to come towards the floor. Lift your head off the floor and look back towards your left elbow. Inviting your shoulder blades just to sink down, feeling that delicious twist even if it is early in the practice. and switch over to the other side. Bend your right knee, lift your right foot off the floor, cross it over your left leg, invite your inner knee to come to the floor, and lift your head off the floor and look back towards your right hand arm, and sinking down. Moving into bridge pose, bend your knees, place your heels in front of your hips, lift your hips off the floor, walk your arms in underneath, shrug your shoulders together, turn your toes in so the root of your second toe is pointing directly towards the middle of your ankle, lift your hips up high, press your head into the floor, lift your chin out of your chest. Tighten your glutes, stretch your knees away from your shoulders. Release your arms and gently roll your spine down on the floor. Into leg lifts, clasp your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Bring your elbows into the side of your face. Stretch your left leg out on the floor. Bend your right knee, bring your right knee into your chest. Inhale, lift it up towards the ceiling. Exhale, inhale, lower your leg to the floor. And exhale and bring it back up. And do that 5 to 10 times on your right hand side. If you have a sore back, do it with your knee bent. Lift your head off the floor, looking towards your right foot. And switch to the other side. Stretch your left leg up. Inhale and lower to the floor. Exhale and bring it back up. And release. Make your way onto your hands and knees, moving into tiger. Hands under shoulders, knees under your hips. Lift your head, lift your right leg out behind you, flex and pointed. Stretch your toes back towards the wall behind you. Gaze straight ahead. Melt your heart. And switch to the other side. Lift your left leg out behind you, flex and point it. And release. In child's pose. Heels together, knees apart, more doable. Knees together, more difficult. Arms out in front and come up onto the tops of your fingers. Inhale, creep your hands forward. Exhale, sinking down. from here, make your way to locust 2. Belly on the floor, chest on the floor, arms by your sides. Squeeze your legs together and inhale, lift everything off the floor. Legs, head and shoulders, arms up as high as you can, turn your thumbs up, move your ears back, move your shoulders back. And release. And bring the side of your face to the floor and just rest. Moving to 8 angle pose. Place your hands by your rib cage so that your forearms are vertical. Turn your toes under, knees on the floor, hips off the floor, chin on the floor, gaze straight ahead. And from here, move to down dog. Come onto your hands and knees, turn your toes under, lift your hips up, hands widen shoulders, grip the floor with your fingertips. Melt your heart. And now we'll move to tremulosa. So come onto your hands and knees, turn towards the side of your mat, cross your right ankle over your left ankle and sit back on your heels. And take 2 blocks. I have 2 I've prepared here earlier. If you don't have blocks, you could use books. I put them on the highest setting, and keeping that, you can also put your hands on the floor and lift off. So I like to use the blocks. Press down with your hands into the floor, into the blocks, and inhale, super glue your heels to your hips and lift off. And release, and then switch the cross of your legs. Cross your right ankle over your left ankle. And if this is as far as you go today, that's fine, just hang out here. So if for anyone that's going up, place your blocks just at the side of your hips. Press down with the heel of your hand into the blocks, straighten your arms, super glue your heels to your hips, and inhale and lift off. And release. You can put your blocks off to one side and move back into down dog. Float forward into plank. And then lower into chaturanga. And release to the floor. And bring the other side of your floor, the other side of your face to the floor. Arms by your sides, turn your palms up and rest. And make your way to standing. Moving into crescent pose. Lift your arms overhead. Bring your hands together. Lift your chest, stretch your spine. Move your hips to the right, your torso to the left, and be as sideways as possible. Pressing your hands into each other, your fingers into each other. Brushing your arms off your ears. Root down with the four corners of your feet into the floor. Squeeze your shins in. Engage your core. And feel the fire of the practice begin to heat you up. Inhale, come back up. And switch to the other side. Inhale, come back up to centre. Arms by your sides. Feet together in Tadasana. Squeeze your shins in. Stretch from your hips to your armpits. Broaden across your collarbones. Move your ears back. Notice your breathing. Moving to power pose prep. Step your feet slightly apart. Lift your arms out in front of you. Invite the head of the arm bones back into the sockets. Bend your knees, round your back. Bring your forehead to your knees. Stretch your arms out in front. Sink back on your throne. I'll do this sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Inhale, press down, stand up. Moving into crescent, one leg lifted. Bring your hands together. This time clasp your hands, point your index finger. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Lift your right leg out to the side. Be as sideways as possible over your right leg. Flex and point your right foot. And switch. And lift your left leg out to the side. Inhale, come back to centre, allow your arms to come down. Close your eyes, turn your attention inwards. Be with all that arises. Focusing on that part of your body, Manipura Chakra. Visualize a golden yellow light within. Moving into tree pose for Chasana. Shift your weight onto your left foot and lift your right foot and place it against your upper inner thigh. Bring your hands together as if in prayer. You can also place your foot against your ankle or your shin. Stay here, more doable, or lift your arms overhead. Clasp your hands, no, don't clasp your hands, bring your palms together. Root down with the standing leg into the floor. Move your arms back, stretch up. Move your right knee out to the side. And gently release and switch to the other side. Shift your weight onto your right, shift your weight onto your left foot and lift your right leg and place it against your upper inner thigh. Toes pointing down, bring your hands as if in prayer. Stay here, more doable, or lift them overhead. Be as tall as a tree. And floating down, release your foot to the floor. Feel the sensations in your legs. Moving into Trikonasana, step your feet wide apart. Turn your right foot out. You may like to use a block in this pose. I often do. Actually, I will do today. Place a block or use a book. Line up your toes so they're pointing directly towards the short end of your mat. On your right foot and your left foot are pointing directly towards the long edge of the mat. The root of your second toe is pointed towards the middle of your ankle. Inhale, float your arms up. Exhale, inhale, reaching forward, place your hand on the block, lift your top arm up. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. Roll your left hip back, your left ribs back. Draw your right buttock in underneath. Engage your quads. Press down strongly with your right foot into the floor. Press down, stand up, take your block and switch to the other end. Right foot in, left foot out. Lift your arms up. Inhale, look out over your left hand arm. Reach forward, place your block. Lift your top arm up. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. Draw your right hip back. Engage your quads. Press your front foot into the floor. Inhale and stand up. Turn your left foot in, turn your right foot out, moving into warrior one. And step your back foot slightly, a little bit forward and turn the toes out towards the long edge of the mat. Square your hips, your shoulders to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift your arms up, bend your front knees, sink down. Lift your gaze, look up. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. And switch to the other end of the mat. Allow your arms to come down to give yourself a rest. Turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out. Square your hips, your shoulders to the short end of the mat. Inhale, lift your arms up, bend your front knees, sink down. Do keep your feet wide apart. And release down. Turn your left foot in, turn your right foot out, moving into no hand lunge. Clasp your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Bring your hands onto the small of your back. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, bend your right knee, sink down, and then hinge forward. Allow your upper body to come towards the floor, head towards the floor, lift your arms off your back. Drop your head, look back between your legs. Bring your arms to vertical or beyond. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor, engage your quad. Inhale, lower your arms, press down with your front foot, straighten your front knee, stand up and pivot to the back of the mat. Right foot in, left foot out. Bend your front knee, sink down. Lift your chest, stretch your spine. Hinge forward. Bring your upper body to the inside of your front knee. Lift your arms off your back. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. Allow your head to drop. Allow your arms to come down. Inhale, press down with your front foot, straighten your front knee, turn your left foot in, and Charlie Chaplin your feet together, or jump them together. And just feel the sensations in your feet, in your legs, turning to your breath, noticing all that's arising out of awareness and sinking back into awareness. Notice as you become stronger in your practice, you become stronger in your life. So our third practice is directly associated with our self-esteem, our will, our own empowerment. And this strong practice is firing that up within you, all that's possible for you. Move to bowing sage, walk to the back of your mat. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Lift your right knee as high as you can and clasp your right foot. This may be as far as you go today. Or inhale, stretch it out. Straighten your leg, keep that. And then if it's available to you, hinge forward, bring your head to your knee. And release and switch to the other side. Shift your weight onto your right foot. Lift your left knee up as high as you can. Clasp your foot with both hands. Stay here. More doable, more difficult, stretch it out in front. Or stay here. Or straighten your leg and lean forward. Bring your head to your knee. And gently release and let go. Moving to reverse mudra. Step your right foot forward. Bring your hands together as if in prayer behind you. More doable, fingers pointed down the waist. More difficult, fingers pointed up the waist. Palms together, heel of your hands together, lift your chest, stretch your spine. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, hinge forward, bring your chin to your shin. Draw your right hip back, your left hip forward. Inhale, come back to centre and switch legs. Left foot forward, right foot back. Square towards the front of the mat, lift your chest, stretch your spine. Inhale, exhale, hinge forward. Bring your chin to your shin. Squeeze your back hip, front inner thigh towards each other. Inhale and make your way back up. And step your feet together, release your arms. Stepping to twisted lunge. Step your left foot back, your right foot forward. Bring your hands together as if in prayer. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, sink down. Bring your left elbow to the outside of your left knee, your right knee. Press top hand into bottom hand. Parallel your thumbs with your sternum. Draw your right shoulder back, your right ribs back. Look down towards front foot. Lift back heel up to vertical. Release your hands to the floor. Switch feet. Front foot back. Back foot forward. Torso upright. Hands to your heart. Bring your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Press elbow into knee, knee into elbow. Top hand onto bottom hand. Roll left shoulder back, left ribs back. Front shin vertical. Lift back of back heel up. Stretch front knee away from back heel, look towards front foot. Release your hands to the floor, step your feet together and come to the middle of your mat. Moving into twisted power pose. Bring your hands together as if in prayer. Bend your knees. Bring your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Press knee into elbow, elbow into knee. Roll left shoulder back, left ribs back. Sit back in your throne. Look towards your toes. Line up knees with hips. Inhale, press down, stand up. Coming into Tadasana, close your eyes, feel the sensations. Moving to the other side, bring your hands together again as if in prayer. Bend your knees, lower your hips. Bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Press knee into elbow, elbow into knee. Place top hand on bottom hand. Bring hands together as if in prayer. Then roll your right shoulder back, your right ribs back. Parallel your thumbs with your sternum. Knees in line with hips. Look towards your knees, look towards your toes. Sit back in your throne. Inhale, press down, stand up. Moving into revolved lunge, move to the back of the mat. Lift your arms up, step forward with attitude and intention with your right foot. Place your hands either side of your front foot. Walk your left hand out to the edge of the mat. Lift your right hand off the floor and up to the ceiling. Roll your right shoulder back, your right ribs back. Lift your chest, look up. Lift the back of your back, knee up. Lower that hand to the floor, switch feet, front foot back foot forward, lift your left arm up. And release, moving into both big toe pose. Bend both knees, place your heels in front of your hips. Clasp both big toes with the first two fingers of each hand and place them between the first toe and the second toe. Lean back slightly. Lift your right leg off the floor, lift your left leg off the floor. More doable, legs apart, stay here, or bring your legs together. Lift your gaze, look up. Press the backs of your knees away, engage your core. And release. Moving into reverse table, place your hands behind you, walk your feet forward, feet hip width apart. Inhale, lift your hips off the floor, stay here, more doable. Or curl your right knee into your chest and lift your leg up towards the ceiling. Lower that leg to the floor and curl the other one in on the other side. Lift it up. And gently release. Moving into plank prep or V-sedge prep. Come into down dog. And pivot your ankles. I'll just do this the other end so you can see what I'm doing. Pivot your ankles to the right and lift your left foot and place it halfway up the front of your mat, and then peel your arm up. Lift your chest, stretch your spine. Invite the sole of your right foot to come towards the floor, elevating your hip up a little higher. Externally rotate your right arm. Come through down dog and repeat that on the other side. Pivot your ankles to the left. Lift your right foot halfway up the front of the mat. Lift your top arm up. onto the other side again, pivot to the right, stack your right ankle on top of your left ankle, lift your left arm up and bring the sole of your right foot towards the floor. Gently release and switch to the other side, pivot to the left, stack your right ankle on top of your left ankle, lift your top arm up. And make your way into Wild Thing. Pivot your ankles to the right. Lift your right foot and place it on the floor behind you. Lift your chest, stretch your spine. Straighten your left leg. Allow your head to drop. Inhale, come back up. Switch through down dog. And repeat again on the other side. Pivot to the right with your ankles, lift your left foot, place it on the floor behind you or on the edge of your mat, lift your chest up. Inhale, come back up to centre, into down dog. Just feel how good down dog feels now. After those strong poses. And make your way to staff pose. Come and sit down. Legs out in front. Hands by your hips. Press the heel of your hands into the floor. Squeeze your shins in. Engage your core. Stretch the sides of your body long, from your hips to your armpits, broaden across your collarbones. Moving to seated angle, stretch your legs wide apart. Again, you might like to use a block. There's my block here. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, hinge forward. Place your elbows on the block. If you don't need a block, place your elbows on the floor. Interlace your fingers. Press the backs of your thighs into the floor. Push through your heels. Inhale, come back up to centre. Move to noose prep. I like to sit up on a block for this. It gives you a little bit of space. So bend your knees, place your heels in front of your hips. Place your right hand on the floor behind you. Again, you can put it on your block if you wish. Lift your left arm up. Cross your body. Bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Draw your left shoulder back, your left ribs back, look forward. Broaden across your collarbones. Press down with your sit bones into the floor. And switch to the other side. Lift your left arm up, bring the elbow to the outside of the knee, draw your left shoulder back, your left ribs back, broaden across the collarbones, keeping your knees together. And just initiate that twist from deep in your abdominal area. On every inhalation, twisting, on every exhalation, sinking down. And release. Moving into Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. Stretch your right leg out, bend your left knee, invite your heel to come towards your upper inner thigh. Turn out over your right leg, press through your heel, inhale, lift your arms up, exhale, hinging forward, and wherever you can catch either your shin or your hands on the floor or your outstretched foot. Gaze beyond your toes, press the back of your right thigh into the floor, inhale, stretch forward, exhale, sinking down. Inhaling, stretching forward, just feel that lovely stretch. Exhale, sinking down. Exhale, inhale back up to centre and switch to the other side. Stretch your left leg out, bend your right knee, bring your heel into your hip. Let's see, I have a hole in my trousers. And lift your arms up and hinging forward. Gaze beyond your toes. Inhale, stretch up, stretch forward, exhale, sinking down. Exhale, inhale and come back up. Moving into turned craned, come into squat position. You might want to stay here, or with your toes and knees pointing forward towards the long side of your mat. Turn your upper body and place your hands on the floor, hands wider than your shoulders, fingers pointing towards the short end of the mat. And then bend your elbows, lean forward, bring your hips, place your hip on one elbow and your knee on the other elbow. Lift your feet off the floor, grip the floor with your fingertips. So it's turned Bakasana, side Bakasana, side crane. Inhale, come back up and switch to the other side. Knees still pointing towards the long edge of your mat. Turn all the way around to the short end of your mat. Hands wider than shoulders. Bend your knees and then leaning towards your elbows. Lift your feet off the floor. And gently release. Practice of fire, hey? Move to intense east stretch. Stretch your legs out, place your hands behind you. Hands wider than shoulders. Inhale, lift your hips off the floor. Bring your toes to the floor. Press your knees down. And gently release all the way to the floor. For some reason I've been doing that pose for years and years and years, and to this day I still get cramps in my toes. Moving to archer pose. Bend your right knee, place your heel in front of your hip. Clasp your big toe with the first two fingers of your right hand. Lift your left arm up, lean forward and clasp the left big toe with your two fingers of your left hand. Shift your weight onto your left hip. Lift your right heel off the floor. Draw your knee back behind you, shin parallel to the ceiling. And release and switch to the other side. Stretch your right leg out, clasp your toe, clasp the left toe with the first two fingers, shift your weight onto your right hip, lift your left heel off the floor, Draw your knee back behind you, shin parallel to the ceiling. And release. And now for our second last pose, reclined west stretch. Come and lie on your back. Bend your knees, bring your knees into your chest, and clasp your feet with the outside edges of your feet with your hands, or clasp your toes. And then press the backs of your knees away from you. Invite your toes to come towards the ground. Press your lower back into the floor. Soften your elbows, squeeze your inner shins together, your inner thighs. Engage your core. And release, and bend your knees and bring your knees into your chest and give yourself the most delicious, loving, comforting hug. Hugging into that place, Manipura, your core, that place that is you, the fire that you've lit in yourself today, so that you can show up how you're meant to show up in the world. And prepare for relaxation. Come and lie on your back. If you wish to get a cardigan, now's a good time to do it. And we'll be in relaxation for the next 5 minutes. So you might like to cover yourself with a blanket, as I'm doing. And if you have an eye pillow, that's a really nice thing to do. And make your way to sitting, or to lying. I'll just set my timer here. to deepen your breathing. Bring your attention back into your body and onto the mat. Start to awaken your body by moving your hands, your feet. Feel like you can give yourself a stretch. And then bend your knees, roll gently to one side, place your hands on the floor and make your way to sitting. Bring your hands together, close your eyes, turn in one last time. To honour ourselves, each other, and the practice, we close with one Om. Exhale, inhale. Thank you for practicing, thank you for coming to practice, and see you on the mat.